presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
Warm evening here in St. Louis, and we're at Busch Stadium. Tonight, the Cardinals trying to make it 3 of 4 against the Chicago Cubs. And welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. That's Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. A chance for the Cardinals, Rick, again to go 21 games above 500.
And I think the Cardinals would like to do a little bit better than a split against the Chicago Cubs. Texas won't be easy this weekend. I think a 5-2 homestand is a good homestand, but to get there, you got to win tonight.
All right, looking forward to this one. Scott Feldman for the Chicago Cubs. For St. Louis, it's Lance Lynn. Baseball coming up on Fox Sports Midwest.
Ten-game winner tonight. Look forward to Lance Lynn. Not very good in his last outing, Dan. Looking for a rebound here tonight.
So Lance Lynn getting the start this evening. The fans on the scene. We're at Busch Stadium. A look at his battery mate, Yadier Molina, when we come back. Molina will bat cleanup tonight, the league's leading hitter. Also outstanding defensively. Pat Paris has more on Yachty.
The face of the St. Louis franchise is at his best when his face can't be seen at all. The art of calling a game is the most subtle attribute a catcher brings to his job, and no one does it better than Yadier Molina. Despite coming from a lineage of catchers, Molina entered the Cardinals farm system raw. Admirable defensive skills and the right tools, but lacked the know-how until he found the perfect big league catcher to emulate. Mike Matheny was intelligent. Mike Matheny was tough. The four-time Gold Glove catcher was one of the best in the game and could clearly see the Cardinals had something special in Yadier Molina.
You could see that he was conscientious. You could see the talent was there too, but he just had a drive. There's 20 catchers in camp, but he stood out then, and every year he just continued to improve. It was fun to watch how he progressed, and when he got here, there was no turning back.
When Molina made his debut back in 2004, he was only 21, but already Gold Glove caliber. His technique was always sound, his arm was always strong, but he was saddled with an inadequate bat. 10 seasons later, those inadequacies at the plate are long forgotten, and Molina is as disciplined as any hitter in the game. Shelby Miller has captured baseball's attention this season, especially following his first career shutout against Colorado. But the rookie was quick to point out the credit belonged to his catcher.
What Yachty calls, I throw, and he was calling the right thing all night, and we kept going to the same thing. We were mixing it up and getting hitters off the fastball when we needed to, and throwing a curveball, and he's helping me out tremendously. And I'm just happy that he's my catcher, that's for sure.
Adam Wainwright has thrown 15,361 pitches to Yadier Molina, the final pitch of the 2006 NLCS, the final pitch of the 06 World Series, the final pitch of each of his 6 career complete game shutouts. Adam says Molina's strength is giving his pitchers confidence to throw any pitch, anytime.
When you're a pitcher and you're taking the mound and you have no other thoughts of anything besides executing the pitch, you don't have to worry about him not blocking the ball or him not receiving it just right. All you have to do is throw the pitch and make the pitch. And when you have a catcher like that, it gives you supreme confidence in yourself, and without that, you're nothing.
There have been a few players who can bring the fans to Busch: Musial, Gibson, Brock, Smith, McGuire, Pujols. Yachty's name can now be added to that list. The hard-throwing, soft-spoken catcher has a passion for baseball and a passion for winning. His 5 Gold Gloves, 4 All-Star Game appearances, and 2 World Series rings are a testament to what Cardinal fans are watching. A career defined for its consistency and a career that is destined for Cooperstown.
baseball already this afternoon as we take you to the Queen City. The all-important game between Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. A split in this 4-game set thanks to Pedro Alvarez. The 26-year-old third baseman drives in 5 in the game, 3 with 1 swing of the bat. Top of the 7th, the base is loaded. Here comes Andrew McCutchen. He would score all the way from first. That's the difference in the game as the Buccos earn a split with the Cincinnati Reds. So what does that mean? Cincinnati, as we speak, they are 3 games out. The Pittsburgh Pirates, 3.5 games out. Matt Carpenter and the Cardinals, though, they don't have to worry about a thing if they win tonight. And looking for number 10 tonight as he and the Cardinals take on the Chicago Cubs. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer or log on to stlchevy.com. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake, just no equal. No equal, arguably. When rivalries are talked about in baseball, it's the Cards and the Cubs. One of the best in the National League, one of the best in baseball as we look at Chicago's lineup for Dale Swaim and the Cubs. Valbuena, Castro, Shearholtz, followed by Alfonso Soriano, Anthony Rizzo, Ryan Sweeney, Wellington Castillo, Darwin Barney, and the pitcher Scott Feldman. He can swing the bat with 8 RBIs this year. Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs. David Freese back in there at third. Matt Adams getting the start at first, and Alan Craig will be on the bench for Mike Matheny's club. They are 20 games above the 500 mark, and our Kia starter, look at those numbers, 9-1 Lance Lynn.
Making his 15th start. His last start was against Miami, and again, not a very good start for Lance Lynn, but he did manage to go 5 innings. He really labored in that start, threw a lot of pitches, in fact, over 100 pitches in 5 innings. Look for him to try to keep that pitch count a little bit lower, especially in the early going here against the Cubs.
Luis Valbuena will lead it off. The third baseman for Chicago, thrust into this leadoff spot. Second on their team in walks and his on-base percentage from the leadoff spot. Very small sample size has been good as Dale Swaim is trying to jumpstart this offense any way he can. You look at the Cubs, Rick, and their starting pitching in particular this month has been very good, but their hitting not so much.
Seeing a good pitcher today in Scott Feldman, and we saw Samardzija and Travis Wood, who both had good starts in this series. So really that's not their problem. The bullpen was, but that's seemingly a bit better. But the offense for the Cubs, really an issue.
That pitch is taken low, and we're underway. Lynn, the 26-year-old from Indiana. As Dale Swaim has gone with a lot of lefties in this lineup, and probably the right move, as right-handed batters only hitting .202 against him. Lefties .255. One pitch. Catches the corner. Dale Swaim is the kind of guy you ask him a question, and he's not going to have the built-in excuses for his players. He is very upfront, and I guess you could say honest to a fault, but some enjoy that honesty too. But he does not protect his players in that regard, as far as saying, well, you know, he's having a bad year, but look at this or look at that. He just comes out and says, no, this player's having a bad year. He has to be better.
He was really that way as a player, too. We were teammates in minor leagues. He was on the way up. I was on the way down, and that was with the Milwaukee Brewers. And he had not yet begun his big league career, which lasted 12 seasons. But he's a straight shooter. There's no question.
In the air out to center field. John Jay under it. Puts it away for the out. And one of the players that Swaim was asked about in his media session today prior to our first pitch is Starlin Castro, who's 4 for his last 26 and hitless in his last 8 at-bats. Theo Epstein was on local radio in Chicago, asked about Castro, and he said he's regressed. Dale Swaim then asked about those comments. He said, I'm not going to argue with it. He has regressed. He's got to be better.
So kind of the standard answer you might expect of, well, you know, it's early in the season. Well, he'll get it. And he just basically flat out said he's right.
And he said also, well, just take a look at some of the numbers of the other shortstops in our league, and he's not where it needs to be. 2 balls and no strikes, and that drives our director Tommy crazy, seeing the back pocket out.
He's regressed in uniform awareness also.
The 2-0 pitch.
It's a little sloppy, I must admit.
Just 1 hit in this series. Average has dipped to .235. John Jay in center, shading him a bit to the opposite way. And you talk to a guy like Jamie Quirk, Dale Swaim, David Bell, Dave McKay. They would love to get any kind of veteran presence of a player that has won in the past. Now they have Shearholtz there, but he's a young player. He's won a couple of championships with San Francisco. I think to an extent we take for granted what Yachty means as a leader on this team and some of the other guys that have been around for a while.
Well, Shearholtz is having the best year of any Cub, that's for sure. But when really your 2 best players that you're trying to build around are both 23 years of age, Castro and Rizzo, I mean, they're really not going to learn from each other. They need somebody to kick them every once in a while. Kick them nicely.
Strikeout number 89 this year for Lance Lynn. Fox Tracks brought to you by Chevy.
Breaking pitch, kind of a sharp, more flat breaking ball from Lance Lynn. He has one that goes down a little bit more, but that's just kind of moving away from Castro, and he had to try to protect. And Lynn has averaged more than a strikeout an inning this year. Shearholtz took him deep in Chicago. But Lance has pitched well against the Cubs in his short career. 4-1 with a 2.7 ERA.
2 outs, nobody on. Shearholtz with an RBI and a double in this series, 2 hits. 1 ball, 1 strike. 9 home runs to match his career high set back in 2011. 2-time World Series winner with the Giants.
I don't know how this sounds anything other than an insult to Nate Shearholtz, which is not how it's meant. But when he's your third batter and your best player this year, then that's where your offense is, and that's why you're having some problems. He's a very good role player, and he's got the ability to produce, but to say that you're going to build your offense around Nate Shearholtz is a bad plan.
2-1 pitch. The fly ball lifted to left field. Matt Holliday is there. The Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first. No score. The Redbirds in the home half of the first. Then we'll see the switch hitter Beltran, Matt Holliday, Yadier Molina batting cleanup. Matt Adams behind him. Then David Freese, John Jay, Pete Kozma, and Lance Lynn. The defense for the Cubs presented by Dobbs. And pretty much this has been the same lineup night in and night out in this 4-game set, exception of a day off for Anthony Rizzo in Game 2. And again, that's brought to you by Dobbs. The starter for Chicago is Scott Feldman.
Start number 14, slider, cutter, curveball, and a changeup that he throws a bit like a split. And he's been very effective. His best pitch, really his out pitch this year, has been his curveball. 8 years in the American League with Texas. Cardinal fans very familiar with him in 2011, getting his chance to be an everyday starter, or one of the 5 starters in this rotation here for Chicago. He's been kind of a guy that's been bullpen / starter, but here he's getting an opportunity and really making the most of it. 6-5 with an ERA just over 3.
Quality starts in 8 of his last 10. And here is Carpenter batting leadoff for the 50th time this season. Cardinals began the year with John Jay in this spot. And John Mozeliak, the Cardinals general manager, was asked the other night about his club and, you know, what does he look at as being the keys for this season thus far? And he said Mexica, clearly. May have the MVP and Yachty. And he said, but really, if you start to look hard at the numbers and break down when our offense took off, it's when Matt Carpenter was put into the leadoff spot. And he's not a prototypical leadoff man because of his speed and the steals, but a lot of pitches he sees, the walks, the on-base percentage, and the high average.
What good teams do is they take a bad situation and find a solution that becomes a part of what makes that team go. Jason Mott goes down, so then you find Edward Mujica, and you've got John Jay struggling in that leadoff spot, so you throw Matt Carpenter in there, and all of a sudden you've got a solution that's driving the team. And you know, if you're only going to stay one way and think that's the only way you're going to win over 162 games, it just doesn't work that way. You have to make adjustments, and guys have to, as players love to say, step up.
This is inside, and it's 2-2. Both these pitchers already in the first have not liked a couple of the calls that have gone against them. Home plate umpires, the crew chief, Field and Colbreth. Pitch was up and hit out of play. Another huge crowd tonight, still filing in to Busch Stadium. We've had 3 consecutive sellouts, and we're expecting big crowds this weekend with Texas in town. Tyler Lyons and Derek Holland tomorrow. The 2-2 pitch. Carpenter lines it to the second baseman, Barney. Line out to Darwin Barney, and here is Carlos Beltran. Beltran at the start of play tonight in the National League. 3rd in home runs, 9th in RBIs. League's leading home run man is Cargo of the Rockies. He has 21. Paul Goldschmidt was 2 grand slams this year for Arizona. Hit one of those here in St. Louis. Has 62 RBIs to lead the league. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Beltran is 4 for 9 in the series with a home run down the right field line off the foul pole.
What'd you call it?
I could go foul pole, fair pole, Beltran pole.
Just trying to remember if you
oh, I remember.
Remembered it or not.
You
Good.
bet. He's done it twice now in the last 5 days.
You got a mind like a steel trap.
Oh yeah. Long memory too. About certain things. It's a warning to you, Horton.
That's the way I took it.
The 2-2 swung on and missed. First strikeout of the night for Scott Feldman.
Curveball we talked about, sharp break.
Here is Matt Holliday. Taps it off the plate. Holliday is 5 for 12 in this series. Average at 275, and with the guys that have been around him in this lineup getting a ton of attention, and rightfully so, Beltran, Molina, Carpenter, quietly, Holliday is now edging closer to 300. 10 home runs, 38 RBIs, very respectable. One ball and 1 strike. Interesting to see Yachty batting cleanup tonight in this lineup, and then Matt Adams.
Yachty's the type hitter that can really hit in a lot of spots. Really, where's your need? You want him in the RBI spot? You want him in the best hitter spot? Yeah, put him 3rd.
And a liner, and that's caught. So 2 rockets, one from Carpenter to second. This one, Holliday to Valbuena at 3rd. And the Cardinals nothing to show for it. So 1, 2, 3 innings. Scott Feldman says in the books, hey, scoreless inning. 3 up, 3 down. No big deal. No score. The bat. The pitch was around 90 miles an hour. It comes off the bat at 100.
In at 91, out at 100. Another nice play by Valbuena, who's made a few nice plays at third base. He's got a little flair to him. Good at bat for Matt Holliday. No result.
Alfonso Soriano at the plate for the first time tonight against Lance Lynn.
Another nice crowd here at the ballpark for a Cardinal Cub game.
Rick, the trade deadline not too far away, and again, you'd have to think that Soriano would be attractive to some teams looking for a jump, some offense, if he can provide it. And they thought they had him traded a year ago. It's declined, and that was to San Francisco. And you wonder if he'll finish up this year with the Cubs.
I think last year was really the best chance for a trade to actually happen with the year he was having. 7 home runs this year, and he could, of course, turn it around and get better, but hit over 260 last year, but did drive in 108 runs on a team that only won 61 games. Had 32 home runs. Kind of a normal, good career type year for Soriano. You take the speed away. Back to some of his big years with the Yankees and with Texas, getting around 35 home runs, driving in 100. He was also stealing 40 bases.
On the inside corner, goodbye. Strikeout of Alfonso Soriano. Number 2 tonight for Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn takes a little bit off this delivery to pick up the strikeout. You mentioned his second. Down and in. Good location. Plaza Tire Service replay.
Anthony Rizzo hitting .242. First pitch is hit out of play. Flied out to deep left center field last night to end the ball game. And also they've talked about the fact that he too has regressed.
Not the kind of thing you want to hear when you go to work on a normal day. You don't want your bosses to be kind of talking to everybody and say, oh, by the way, Joe over there in cubicle 7 has regressed. You just don't want to hear that. But you got to accept the truth. You got to hear the truth before you can react to it and learn from it. And baseball people tend to get thick-skinned. Understand it's a very public, performance-based job, and you're not performing. That's what happens.
Strikeout number 3 for Lynn. 5 up, 5 down. Lynn looks already a ton better from the start we saw over the weekend when he really labored.
We're seeing a running cutter from him too, which is a little different than the slider that we've seen. That last pitch kind of just coming in on the hands of Rizzo. We've seen him get tied up a couple of times in this series, and clearly a way they're attacking Rizzo. But normally you think more of a kind of a classic slider delivery from Lynn, but his a little flatter, really just running across the plate. But there's the good fastball from Lynn, and that's perfect location.
Rick, the Cardinals are set up in their franchise to have a consistent run. They've locked up many of their young players, and you wonder if Lance Lynn could be next in line to maybe get some of those arbitration years bought out. Every franchise looking for pitching, starting pitching, a guy that can be dominant. Well, Lance Lynn, back-to-back seasons now in which he's won 8 of his first 9 decisions to start the year. Slowly hit to the right side. Adams quickly to Lynn. one big man to another. Nicely done. That was not an easy play.
Was not.
The Cardinals coming up at Molina, Adams, and Freeze. Plaza Tire Service replay as we head to break. June 30th, you'll receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. Rare when Yachty bats cleanup. He's done it 15 times in his career. And here he is leading the league in hitting at .365. First in average, multi-hit games with 29, hits with 93, also leads in doubles. Mentioned it a bunch last night, how relaxed Molina looks in his stance at the plate.
Yeah, it's one of the things I've noticed even more so over the last couple of weeks. He almost looks like, I mean, he just looks so relaxed. His body is so kind of almost limp, like he's not really even paying attention, and he's just going to kind of attack like a cat once the ball starts headed towards home plate. And, you know, when a hitter is stiff or squeezing the bat, you know, that's typically a bad sign. It means they're maybe over anxious or maybe kind of tight with their muscles, but that is not a tight stance right there. That's a guy very confident in what he's doing.
3-0 on Yachty. I tweeted this right before the game that you go back to 2006, it was a .216 average for Molina. Think about that, .216 in 2006, and just how far he has come. And one of our astute followers on Twitter, and it's a great point, brought up the fact that Yachty had a very good postseason of 2006.
Right.
And then you and I went back and looked at the numbers. NLCS, dramatic home run, nearly 400. And then in the World Series, he did hit 400 plus. And since that time, in regular season play, he's not been below .262. So very well could have been the jump start for this.
And it was the entire postseason, even in the division series. He hit over 300 against San Diego and really started then. And I think there's something about the confidence of hitting well in October that has maybe defined where he is as a hitter going forward. Hit .275 the next year, then over 300.
We always appreciate the fans with their kind comments, suggestions on our Twitter feeds. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Adams with the shift on. Adams smokes one out to center field, and it's over the head of Sweeney. What a rocket. Matt Adams on his way to second base. My goodness. I'd like to see the ball speed off the bat on that one. Man, did that get out there.
102.6. Plaza Tire Service. You guess. Does this ball hit hard or not? Barely time to react for Feldman. Nice short swing of Matt Adams, but powerful swing. No chance for Sweeney to run this one down. Does do a nice job of getting it off the center field wall, though, and keeping Yachty from scoring.
Such an intriguing option for the Cardinals. Their top pinch hitter this year in Matt Adams, but this time last year we were saying, what would Carpenter do with 500 at bats? We're seeing a potential all-star. You wonder that with Adams, and that hit speed 104.1.
Missed it by that much.
Here's David Freese. You know, David would love to redeem himself after what happened 2 nights ago. One of his toughest nights wearing the birds on the bat. Hitless, 3 double plays off his bat. Two balls and no strikes.
Infield back, conceding a run. Ground ball to the right side will get an RBI and a runner to third.
Freese hitting .359 this month. Here's a 2-0 pitch. John Jay on deck. Are you with me? Is this a tight strike zone we've seen so far?
Looks a little tight to me. Not really loud complaints from either pitcher, but kind of the little extra stare in that we've seen in the past where the pitcher's hoping to maybe get a strike call.
On 3-0, they turn him loose. Castro, nice play to his left. The RBI for David Freese. Yachty scores, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. Thought they may turn him loose and see what he could do.
I'm glad they did.
That's 4 very hard hit balls of the first 6 that Feldman has faced. Baseball night in America. Rangers and Cardinals. That'll be Saturday night. We understand the Rangers, by the way, have made a pitching change for that ball game. In game 2, they're going to bring up a minor leaguer. That'll be Saturday at 6. Here's Jay.
Derek Holland will pitch game 1 of that series. Martin Perez, a left-hander they've recalled from AAA, and Yu Darvish and Adam Wainwright, the matchup on Sunday. Do not miss that game.
That'll be fun.
Don't miss any of them.
0-1 pitch. Jay, a bouncer to the right side. Rizzo handles it himself. 2 away. Adams advancing to third.
The reason I like David Freese swinging 3-0, I think you're sending a message to Scott Feldman that, you know, we expect to score, we expect to hit, and, you know, I think if you are a little bit too cautious, especially in the early going, you give a pitcher a little bit too much credit. And I like guys swinging the bat. I like them being aggressive.
Adams a runner at third. Here's the 8th place hitter, Pete Kozma. Lance Lynn on deck. We know that Lance is not known for his bat. And that pitch is taken inside and low. Right now, Pete Kozma may surprise you, but second among rookies in hits and RBIs.
Jerko for San Diego has more hits than Kozma.
And Kozma lifts it out to shallow left. Soriano is there with a hop and makes the catch. To the top of the third. Let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jim.
Dan, Mike Matheny usually plans out days off well in advance. Apparently not the case with Alan Craig today. Alan told me that Matheny called him as he was driving to the ballpark. Craig said that he told Matheny he was fine to play, but he says at this point in the season, getting a day off can help a player really rejuvenate, not only physically but mentally. So he says he didn't argue very much. Craig has started 69 of 72 games, hasn't had a day off since sitting out part of a doubleheader back on June 1st. So a well-deserved day off for Alan Craig.
And Craig among the league leaders in RBIs. Thanks, Jim. And now Lance Lynn back to work, and Craig's replacement Adams with the double. So he's 1 for 1 tonight. And Lynn 6 up, 6 down. 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup with Castillo, Barney, and Feldman. High fly ball lifted to center. John Jay back at the wall, leaps, and it's gone. Home run to Wellington Castillo, and we're tied up at 1-1. So the first pitch here in the third inning leaves the ballpark.
Cardinals do a lot of work to get 1 run, and the Cubs swing at 1 pitch and they get it back. Good effort by John Jay. This Cub team, if you can say one really good thing about their offense, they have a lot of extra base hits. And home run by Castillo, just his second. And the Cardinal pitchers don't give up very many home runs.
Not at all. We saw Wainwright give up 2 in his start, game 1 of this series, and for Adam, it was 2 in 1 inning. That matched his entire season, what he had done. So you're exactly right. And the majority of the home runs that have been given up by the Cardinals starting staff this year, Jaime Garcia had a bunch, and we know that he's done for the season. There's a fly ball into right, going back Beltran for out number 1. Take a look at our keys to the game presented by Toyota.
The Cubs offense 3.86 pitches per plate appearance. That's the most in the National League. The Cardinals the third fewest pitches per at bat. That comes from the Cardinal pitchers. That's our Toyota key. And we're finding out on our friends from Twitter, there's been no announcement that we've heard here at the ballpark, but evidently Yu Darvish has been pushed back till Monday. So in the interest of honesty and fair play, we will not see Darvish and Wainwright, but we'll still see Wainwright on Sunday.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike to Scott Feldman. The Cubs pitchers with 22 RBIs, most by a wide margin in the National League. Feldman with 8 of the 22. As a matter of fact, the Cubs and their pitching staff, they have 3 game-winning RBIs. Roy Oswalt returning to the big leagues tonight with Colorado. He strikes out 11 in 5 innings. That's the second most in his career. His club trailing, though, that's in the 6th against Washington 4-0. I mentioned earlier that the Pirates, Rick, defeated Cincinnati in the key game that we're watching.
They did, and good to have Roy Oswalt back in the major leagues. I love watching him pitch, and just wondering about this guy Feldman, if he actually knew he could hit in 8 years in the American League.
Right.
And a lot of that out of the bullpen. I'm sure he didn't get a chance to practice very much.
Ground ball that's hit to second. MLB.TV, they're celebrating 11 years with new low yearly prices. You can watch every game anytime. All your mobile devices. MLB.TV, where baseball is everywhere. Luis Valbuena. Flied out to center to start the game. Takes a ball outside. Houston defeated Milwaukee 7-4. We understand that Ryan Braun will miss another month, if not more. Sore hand and thumb. And who knows, he may miss more than that for other reasons. Texas defeats Oakland 4-3. So again, the Rangers in town tomorrow night. And big crowds expected.
Be a chance to relive a little bit, won't it? 2011. And I know we have plans to kind of talk through some of the big moments of that World Series with Texas. And, you know, we certainly remember and have seen over and over and over again what David Freese did. But there's so many other big moments in that series that kind of get obscured, that, you know, it really isn't just what David Freese did to win the game. Ultimately, what he did to tie it, what Lance Berkman did to tie it later. And Scott Feldman was a part of that game.
See Berkman tomorrow night, the switch hitter, now the DH, who is slowed down considerably after a fast start. He's hit around 160 in the month of June. Did a homer last night from the right side for Texas. You know, 6 knee surgeries for Berkman, 4 on the right knee. And when we saw him at the end of last year, I don't think any of us expected him to be able to come back and contribute in any way, shape, or form. But here he is. Got a sizable deal from Texas and still playing.
Well, I was concerned about Lance, and, you know, to know Lance is to love him. I mean, he's just a good teammate, a fun guy, and we know how hard he worked. It was well documented, the workout regimen he did to make a comeback after he was really given up on from the year before. Had some time with the Yankees, and that was slow, and everybody thought his knees are done, there's no chance. Well, he did this incredibly hard workout regimen in the offseason. And the question was that going to be sustainable at his age? He thought maybe he could do it for a year, but maybe he's done again. And so he just keeps kind of coming back and finding ways to be a big leaguer. You know he can hit. The question is he going to be healthy enough?
1-2 the count. Starlin Castro waves at it, strikes out for the second time. So many great plays from 2011. This is one of them. The reaction of the triple that kept the Cardinals alive in Game 6. to seeing coming up. Interleague play, Texas in town beginning tomorrow night. Next road trip will feature the LA Angels. So Berkman, Profar, Trout, Pujols. And that's brought to you by AT&T. I know you were pushing for Jose Altuve, but we left him off the list. Only could have 4 choices, so we went with those 4. Hey, I just got a retweet from the Fox Sports Midwest girls.
You did.
Outstanding.
Nice.
All right, here's Lance Lynn. Lynn, Carpenter, and Beltran. And a strike right down the middle. And we're underway here in the bottom of the 3rd. Oh, and 2.
Say Lance Lynn is not the best of hitters. He did have 2-run single against Miami in a part of the game where Mike Matheny had to decide whether to pinch hit for him or not. Left him in, got a couple of RBIs, stayed on to complete his 5 innings and get a win.
Try the new Egg White Delight McMuffin. Only 250 calories and only at McDonald's. Matt Carpenter digs in for the 2nd time as he lined out to second. 9th in average, 5th in on-base percentage in the National League. That on-base percentage at .396.
See where Yachty's has gotten over 400. His on-base percentage was at .406, and then he walked his only plate appearance tonight. Both he and Carpenter on base a ton. That's how you get all those guys with all the RBIs. The Cardinals offense really generated by players like Matt Carpenter getting on base.
One pitch to Carpenter is taken for a ball. 2-1. Mets and Braves playing a 5-game series. Doubleheader mixed in there after a rainout, so they'll wrap that up today. These 2 teams, 4 games. Cubs and Cardinals finishing tonight. As Carpenter lifts it in the air into right center, and that ball will get down. Couple of hops to the wall. Matt Carpenter, 1-out double.
Plenty of times on base and plenty of doubles for Matt Carpenter.
Matter of fact, Rick, it's the 20th double for Matt Carpenter. Fox Tracks brought to you by Missouri Lottery. Take a look at the pitch, down and in. Replay brought to you by Hyundai. Here's Carlos Beltran. Struck out swinging back in the 1st. A lot of room to the left side. We've seen a lot of teams play Beltran hitting from the left side this way. Shift.
Circled Alan Craig the other night, way out of the on-deck circle. Matt Holliday not quite as far as where Alan Craig was, but just wonder why they even have that.
One-oh pitch.
almost have to think that would be in the sight line of the pitcher at least a little bit.
Three and 0. Holiday on deck, and remember, he lined out a screamer to third first time up.
Purpose, of course, for Holiday is to try to pick up the delivery, learn something about the kind of the time it takes for the ball to get to the plate. It's almost like seeing a couple extra pitches that aren't really ones that count towards your at bat, but trying to get a feel for the timing.
Beltran hits it foul.
You can picture in your mind, Dan, most of the at-bats for Beltran, Holiday, Molina, Craig this year. Doesn't it seem as if they're hitting with runners in scoring position all year long? I mean, how many times you see them hitting 2 outs, nobody on? It just doesn't seem to happen very much. And again, credit Matt Carpenter and others for getting aboard in front of them.
Walk. The second issued by Feldman. And here is Matt Holliday. We have Beltran hitting .451 with runners in scoring position. That leads the league. Alan Craig is in the top 5 in that category. Molina's right there. Matt Carpenter as well. And Holiday at .356 with runners in scoring position. 2 on, 1 out. Yachty is on deck, standing at the on deck circle. Because I know, Rick, that bothers you. So he's okay.
I'm over it.
1-1, and Matt didn't like that call. A few years ago, it was a rainy night. Pujols came in to make a catch and slipped on the on deck circle. It's a rubberized placement of the all the equipment there. Now Yachty cleaning the cleats, and he slipped. Remember that? Landed on his back. And anytime you see rain in the area, they'll start pulling the right on deck circles. 1-1 pitch. Way outside, 2-1.
Actually, a safety committee in baseball where there'll be players, managers, people connected to teams that will review different issues that come up and are reported throughout the year that are player safety issues. And sometimes it relates to the dugout or different things about the ballpark. With all the new ballparks, you would guess that list is a little bit shorter of things that players have to deal with, but maybe there needs to be fences in certain areas to protect the dugouts. But I understand these athletes are well compensated, and you hate to lose a player because he slipped and fell on an on-deck circle.
Time is called. Runners at first and second, 1 down. Now Feldman steps off. The 2-2 hit out of play.
Little teaching point for young players, and we know we have a lot of viewers that are watching Cardinal baseball maybe for the first time, young Cardinal fans. One of the things you have to learn to do as a pitcher when you come set and you have to step off, it's got to be feet first before you break your hands. And even if they call timeout, get in the habit of stepping off when you have coaches coaching young kids how to play. Always get them used to stepping off with their foot first instead of breaking your hands, otherwise it's a balk.
Little chopper left side. It takes a bad hop, and Carpenter will score. Hit the lip of the grass. It stayed down instead of coming back up with a natural hop. Matt Holliday saying thank you very much. I don't need to ground into another double play. And the Cardinals retake the lead 2-1.
It isn't just this first hop, it's what happens with Castro, who's backing the play up. You got to smother that ball somehow, keep it in the infield. He just kind of reaches out, and I guess there's some effort there, but the point is you cannot let that ball get into the outfield. You have got to smother that somehow. By the time it gets past Valbuena, you're probably not going to throw out anybody anyway. But just dive on that ball, keep it in the infield, and in my mind, he could have done a little bit more to stop that.
All right, Rick, base hit, RBI given to Matt Holliday.
Well, I think once it hits the lip there and get past Valbuena, it's a hit. But now this kind of, I don't know what you'd want to call that play, but it wasn't good enough. I'm not sure you can call that an error by Castro, but certainly not a good play.
Here's Molina, walked and scored in the second inning. 4.08 his average with runners in scoring position.
Have to give that a hit, don't you?
I guess it just doesn't have to be pretty, and it wasn't.
Right.
So hits the lip of the grass. Good hop for the Cardinals, but as you said, somehow Valbuena or Castro has to keep that on the infield.
It isn't the hit, it's the fact that it turned into an RBI.
Yep. Turns into the 39th RBI this year for Holliday. Only one down. Very easily could have been, Rick, the 19th double play that Holliday is grounded into.
It also very easily could be the most important at bat in this game. And something that the Cubs would look back and say, wow, if he'd have stopped that ball there and kept it in the infield, we'd still be playing. I mean, it's possible.
The 2-1 pitch taken outside. I get a kick out of seeing the faces of managers throughout the year. Ones that are going well, the other ones, nothing seems to be going right. And Dale Swaim just a moment ago just kind of had that look like, you got to be kidding me. Here we go again. Three and 1 the count on Yachty, so a chance here to do some damage.
Wins invigorate players and also coaches and managers. You're just excited to come to the ballpark. You have a little extra hop in your step.
Go back to the home run last night. Molina, where he hit that ball, it's hard to believe, and his eyes lit up on that pitch.
Yeah, hanging curveball from Feldman. Had decent break to it, but up in the zone. I wouldn't suggest throwing that pitch again. 3-2. Both runners may be off with this pitch. Molina does not strike out very much. There they go.
Out of play. But just watching the replay of the home run last night, which wound up being the 5th of the season for Yachty, it wasn't a bad pitch.
It was not.
Just a great piece of hitting.
Usually when you say great piece of hitting, you're talking about a ball a guy took the other way and just kind of flared it. Spoiled a good pitch. He didn't just spoil the good pitch. He hit it up into the seats.
It's another 3-2 pitch to Molina. Runners go again. And Yachty hits it out of play. Cubs were asked about the MVP of the league, and I know it's early. They said right now it's Molina. Dale Swain saying we've seen some great players come along this year, but in his mind, Molina right now is the best. Hard to argue with that. It very well could come down again to he and Posey. Just like the All-Star game, and who would be the guy that gets the start.
A lot to do between now and then for them to earn it. Yachty's certainly front runner right now, and you talked earlier about him hitting in the cleanup spot here. Trying to remember and kind of test your brain on this too, Dan. That steel trap of yours. What position in the lineup has Yachty not hit in?
Good point.
We know he's hit second.
Lead off.
Ninth.
Yeah.
We would guess under Tony, I can't remember a time, but I'm guessing when Tony was using the pitcher in the 8th spot that Yachty might have had a game where he hit ninth.
Good at bat here for Yadier Molina. Outfield deep straight away. Cardinals have been starting the runners with one down and the count full. There they go again. And it's taken for a ball, nearly thrown into left field. It is ball 4, so the bases are loaded. Valbuena wanted to get the appeal from the first base umpire. He did not go, so the bases are loaded for St. Louis.
Castillo evidently not getting enough notice there and not a quick enough call on that. Ball 4 ends up almost throwing the ball in the left field.
Chris Bosio, the pitching coach.
And we got a quick answer, Dan, from our truck. Yachty has hit in every spot in the order, including leadoff.
And I can't think of when that happened or why. Interesting. Chris Bosio, by the way, has been screaming home plate umpire when he came out, having words as he's walking back. I don't know about you. I do feel the strike zone tonight has been fairly tight. Guys in the truck telling us that Fox Tracks has shown that Field and Colbreth has had a good strike zone. And now it's Matt Adams with the bases loaded. He doubled to center. Matt has base hits in 10 of his 15 starts prior to this ball game. Here's a 1-0 pitch.
In my experience over the years around the game of baseball, not always true, but generally true, when your team is struggling, you have issues with umpires. When your team is winning, you don't even notice they're out there. You start to see and rely and need particular calls, and when you don't get them, even if they're close, it just bothers you more because you need them more. So it's very natural kind of reaction.
Ground ball, and this could be 2. Out at second. It's a double play for 6-3. They had the shift on for Adams, so Castro had to get back to the bag at second, and they turn 2. by Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer. And now's your chance to go big at Jack in the Box. Try Jack's Big Stack Burger, 2 jumbo patties stacked with onion rings, cheese, and pickles. It's a 9-pitch at bat for Molina. Little things like that add up. And then a double play right after that off the bat of Matt Adams. They had the shift on, so Starlin Castro had to be quick back to the bag.
And he had to take a little bit of a different route to get there. There's Castro, who's actually on the second base side of the bag. So when the ball's hit to the second baseman, he's got to go around, pretend he's a shortstop again, to try to get his momentum headed towards first base. So quick reactions by Castro. And unfortunately for the Cardinals, Adams hits into a double play, 2-1 St. Louis.
Check swing on the slider, and he went. That was a nasty pitch there from Lance Lynn. Lance has struck out 4. He's allowed a base hit and a walk, and that hit was a home run. First pitch of the third to Wellington Castillo. Nate Shearholtz at the plate. He's flied out to left.
Fielded Culbreth, the crew chief, is behind the plate, and as we said, he's had a good strike zone. The pitchers here tonight may not agree with that, but Fielded Culbreth was also the umpire in the game where there were suspensions handed out because of rules violation. He missed two games because of it.
And that was with the Angels and Astros, I believe. Astros have signed the #1 overall pick, Mark Appel, Houston native. How long will it be before they are relevant again with a guy like Appel, #1 pick, a shortstop for Puerto Rico a season ago? 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tell you what, the guys in the truck are so locked in tonight. That's Tom Mee, our Emmy Award-winning director. And it swung on and missed. Mike Helling, you can tweet at Mike for various things if you'd like, at Helling.
High fastball, went up the ladder. Strikeout number 5 for Lance Lynn.
You know, we get a lot of suggestions about maybe things that we should do during the telecast. Always very constructive criticism, always very positive, Rick. And I figure maybe some of that could go right to Mr. Helling and Mr. Mee as Soriano takes a ball. And our fans have wonderful ideas.
I think that's a spectacular idea. Let's just get it right straight to the truck.
Yep. 1-0 pitch, and Soriano lifts it in the air out to center field. John Jay is there for 2 outs.
We do have fun with that, Dan, because we get a chance to hear from a lot of Cardinal fans and viewers, and what we try to communicate the best we can is that there are all kinds of different viewers to Cardinal baseball. There's the 10-year-old kids we talked about before that are just learning to like the Cardinals, and they don't know who Red Schoendienst is, and they don't know who Rogers Hornsby is, and yet we have fans, legacy fans of the Cardinals, that go back to the history and what Cardinal baseball has meant to the community where they grew up and where their parents grew up. And so there's all kinds of kind of folks in our viewing audience that are just learning the game, know the game, played the game, enjoy the game. And our hope is that you can enjoy the numbers and the action and the history and the stories all together. And people have their own particular taste, but what we all kind of share is the fact that Cardinal baseball is at the center of it.
Young fans, all they know is winning from this franchise.
That's all they've seen.
Yeah. Shallow center. Jay was playing deep and makes the catch.
They should talk to some older fans who know differently.
City Field in New York. The battle for home field advantage, July 16th. First time ever All-Star Game rosters will be revealed exclusively on Fox. The 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game Selection Show presented by Taco Bell. Again, that's 6:30 Eastern on Saturday, July 6th, prior to Fox's slate of primetime games that evening. What's interesting, Rick, is that the host city will have the highest ratings for the All-Star Game. After that, it's your St. Louis Cardinals that seem to always draw interest, and the city of St. Louis usually number 2, except in 2009 when our city hosted the Midsummer Classic.
Cardinals should be well represented at that game, and looking forward to it. Again, the All-Star Game, July 16th on Fox. Cardinals missed an opportunity in the third to blow it open against Scott Feldman. See if David Freese can get something started. They're working him inside, or at least trying to.
Turned him loose on a 3-0 pitch with runners at second and third. First time up. Rounded out to short. That cutter is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a ground ball that's hit to short. Backing up Castro, and then fires over the first. 1 away. Even right there, Rick, a situation where it wasn't fielded all that cleanly, and you wonder if it was better to come in on that ball, get an easier play, easier hop. Reminder, we have the Mike Shannon bobblehead coming up. Cardinals will take on the Marlins the 5th, 6th, and 7th here at Busch Stadium. Oh yeah, the Mike Shannon bobblehead. Yes, Mike is sitting on the medicine ball. That's presented by Goodwill. Big weekend. Shannon bobblehead, holiday jersey giveaway. And then Willie Robertson of Duck Dynasty on Sunday, the AT&T porch flag. There's strike 1 to John Jay. I believe we have a 3-man booth tomorrow, so we'll have to ask Al about his plans for Christian Day and trying to get together with Willie Robertson. I'm sure those two have a lot in common. It'll be nice to have a meeting of the minds. 1 ball, 1 strike as Jay falls behind 1-2.
Maybe he can trade a hungo for one of his duck calls. Maybe they can have a nice little deal there. I think I can help broker this.
It's a great idea, Rick.
Get right on it.
Compare facial hair. Al's big into that. As Jay picks up a base hit into right.
Fourth hit for the Cardinals. John Jay's first. Trying to go inside and up. And a little bit too much of the plate. And not quite as up as he planned. And John Jay able to get the bat head on it. Hard single to right.
Here's Cosma, flied out to left, first time up.
I think it's no secret by now that the Cardinals don't run much. You don't have to really scout them that heavily to pick that up, and you wonder if there will be times where Mike Matheny will feel it'll be necessary for whatever reason the offense is not clicking to maybe starting more guys in a hit and run. And I don't think he's really had to do that very much because guys have done so well with runners in scoring position. The movement has been generated by the hits.
Oh, and 2. Cardinals had another signing today from their draft. That means 27 of the team's top 28 picks have signed. Marco Gonzalez at the ballpark yesterday, the lefty. Oh, and 2 the count. Big lead by Jay, so Feldman steps off the pitching rubber. There's a broken bat. Castro to his left, steps on the bat. Nifty double play. Now that's what they love to see, the athleticism of number 13. Cardinals, we jump ahead to the 5th. Let's check in with Jim Hayes on Yadier Molina. Jim.
Dan, you and Rick were talking about it. Yadier Molina homered on a fastball down and in last night. It was right where Edwin Jackson wanted it. Yadi knew it was coming. His brother Benji says to him that's the main reason behind Yadi's offensive improvement. His knowledge of what a pitcher is going to throw and where. Benji says Yadi is one of the 3 best that he's ever seen at knowing what pitch is coming. The others, Miguel Cabrera and Barry Bonds, guys.
Interesting, and it was a very good pitch, but Molina right now is just so locked in. And for him to go down and get that, drive it out of the ballpark. We saw a little motion, too, when he crossed the plate, went into the dugout. A little back and forth between the white lines in this series. Would you agree?
Yeah, and it hasn't been extraordinary, and it hasn't been kind of the major focus of the games in this series, but certainly some pitches inside, some little bit of chirping it seems it's going on, but hard slides at the plate, hard slides at second base. I would say just boys being boys.
Ryan Sweeney, 1 ball, 1 strike. Underway here in the top of the 5th. Watch out. Right over the Cubs dugout into the seats. One, 2 is a fly ball into shallow left. Matt Holliday there. 60 pitches on the night for Lance Lynn. Take a look at his high-speed pitch. Brought to you by Charter. Lynn at 94, Feldman 92.
About average for both of them. That's what you'd expect their high pitch to be. Feldman 91, 92 typically, and Lance Lynn has had a little more variety in his velocity. We noticed his velocity was down some in Miami in his last start, but I think the thing we noticed more than anything is Lance just seemed gassed. It was a very hot and kind of muggy day in South Florida, and he just seemed kind of worn out, seemed kind of stiff and lethargic in some ways, and just had to kind of gut through it.
2 hits allowed by Lynn tonight, both off the bat of Castillo, who homered back in the 3rd. Lynn has walked 1. He has struck out 5. Oh, you want the heat? You've got it tonight. It's starting to turn into a St. Louis summer.
Sure is.
There's Darwin Barney. Average now is dipped to 213. Big gap in left center. The first pitch is taken high for a ball. Home plate umpire Colbreth was waiting for someone to come on deck, and then finally Scott Feldman emerged from the dugout. That's a base hit into center. Barney fought it off inside corner. Back-to-back hits, and it brings in Feldman.
Ball had a little slice to it, so Castillo's not sure whether Cosma was going to catch it, so he has to hold up. The ball almost hit at Cosma and just kept kind of, because he was jammed, sliced away from him. Almost like a fade on a golf shot, and no chance for Cosma to come up with it. Again, the reminder, Feldman can hit. The Cardinals have to try to figure out, even though Feldman can hit, will he bunt here? My guess is he will be bunting.
Grounded out to second, first time up.
I wouldn't bet the house on it, though.
Showing bunt and strike 1.
Feldman's objective here, bunt the ball to David Freese, make him field it, get him off the third base bag.
1-2.
Freese is hanging back just enough that in case Feldman bunts the ball back to the pitcher or to the first base side, he's going to try to get back to that bag.
And he gets the bunt down. Yachty goes to third. Out there, no play at first, but they do get the lead man. Always willing to take a chance. That has never been in question when you think about Yadier Molina.
Also set up by Freeze reacting quickly that ball was deadened enough in front of the plate. He had the kind of the side saddle view. Then he went back, covered the base. Molina gets the ball to him quickly, and outside shot at a double play. The Cardinals very aggressive defending the bunt. Become a bit of a trademark for the Cardinals team defensively.
So runners at first and second, top of the lineup, Luis Valbuena. Valbuena has fly to center and also walked. Outfield is straight away. The Cardinals lead 2-1 here in the top of the fifth. And that's strike one, 93 from Lynn. Oh, we know about the changes for the Rangers this weekend. The Cardinals, though, have Tyler Lyons going in game one tomorrow night. We'll have that for you on Fox Sports Midwest. Derek Holland going for the Rangers. Shelby Miller game two. Wainwright in game three. And that is strike two.
An unsuccessful bunt really deflates an inning, doesn't it? We saw that a year ago with the Cardinals quite a bit.
Popped up. Out of play.
Again, a nice suggestion from our truck. And yes, they are in a truck. Some of our fans are tweeting us about our production crew. Yes, they literally are in a truck. And he said it's a little bit like not scoring, according to Mike Helling, on a power play. Get that same feeling, kind of deflating when the bunt doesn't work. And there's a lot going on in that truck.
Lance Lynn, watching his reaction from the last pitch, spun away. Wasn't very happy with himself, it looked like, and maybe Yachty just seeing that as well, wants to make sure his pitcher calms down, focuses on his next offering, 1 and 2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Popped up again, out of play. And time is called. Pulled just foul.
Pitch count for Lance Lynn. Fairly consistent. Had a really good fourth, just 10 pitches as he retired the Cubs. 1, 2, 3 in that inning. this rate. Ought to be able to go 7+.
3-2.
Everybody moving here.
And he walked him. So good at bat. Luis Valbuena draws his second walk of the game. That's why the Cubs have put him at the top of the lineup. And now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Well, fans, you've known for years that StubHub is a great place to find the seats you want to Cardinals games. They've added StubHub Fan Rewards. You can earn a little extra with your tickets, like seat upgrades. So head to StubHub, get your Cardinals tickets today. So 2 walks. And with that, it's now loaded up for Starlin Castro. He has struck out twice, and you go back to the play to end the 4th inning. Outstanding double play turn by Starlin Castro. So struggling, though, against St. Louis this year, clearly 2 for 22.
2 strikeouts tonight. Cardinals have gotten him to chase in this series.
That's what he did in his last at bat, too.
And the best way to get him to chase is you get ahead of him. And you make the zone a little bigger. That's a little too big.
Here's a 1-1. Now it's 1-2. Crowd comes alive with the bases loaded. 1-2 the count.
Close. Did not expand his zone there. Go pitch here as far as Lance Lynn's concerned. 3-2, you got to tell yourself not an option. Make it happen here.
Popped up. Playable. Molina calling for it. Adams is there. Yadi's got it. And with that, the Cardinals get out of the jam. We are teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, call the Quit line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Well, always interesting when you see a play like that, Rick, a pop-up. Adams, it's much easier for him coming in. However, it is Yadier Molina we're talking about, but technically that would probably be Adams' ball.
Well, I would say it's going to be Adams' ball, but I think the real communicator has to be Lance Lynn, because you've got two guys coming at each other. The pitcher's job, in my mind, is the one that's going to make the call ultimately. And when he sees that collision starting to formulate, he's got to stop it. He's got to be yelling one of the players' names, and it's kind of a good thing that Yadi has such good hands that he's able to hold on. And here's the play. Yadi's calling for it. Well, so is Matt Adams. They're both calling. And Lance Lynn needs to be directing traffic a bit.
It's Lance Lynn, Carpenter, and Beltran for St. Louis. Cardinals leading 2-1. Lynn struck out. Scott Feldman has struck out 2 tonight. He has walked 3. Mentioned that Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati 5-3. Pedro Alvarez with 5 RBIs.
I want to give a shout out to Cody Terry, the son of Scott Terry, who's here with his bachelor party at the ballpark today. Why wouldn't he be here at the ballpark with a bachelor party? I understand they're here at the Champions Club, and if they can hear me at this time, a nice shout at the Champions Club. Glad you're on board. Glad you're here at the ballpark. And Scott Terry was an outstanding teammate and does a great job of coaching baseball in the St. Louis area, and his son Cody.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Also another former Cardinal is Scott Cooper, and you have Matt Whiteside, the former Texas Ranger. Those two have come together, Rick, and also work with Scott Terry doing the Cardinal clinics. As the 2-2 is swung on and missed, and Cooper and Whiteside have formed now one of the best little league that then turns into middle school, high school programs, not just in St. Louis but in the Midwest. It's the St. Louis Gamers, and recently here at Busch Stadium they had the PNC High School Showcase, which is the top high school players. They had 13 of them in that game, and they'll have their tryouts coming up July 30th and 31st. STLgamers.net to find out more. That's STLgamers.net. Give it a try, and they are two of the best instructors and teachers of the game in the area and in the Midwest.
You bet.
So those numbers for Feldman. So he's a guy that really has picked it up here. And this Cubs starting staff has given them at least chances to win. 2 balls and no strikes on Matt Carpenter.
And the curveball, as projected, has been a good pitch for him. Kind of has the knuckle curve delivery. And it's gotten a number of strikes and outs with it. Really not a lot of hits in this game. Just 7 hits in this game, and it really has been a slow pace again. And just wonder whether or not that's a kind of a standard operating procedure for the Cubs this year. And it seems as if everything that they do is a little bit slower with pitcher and catcher. And again, just 7 hits, 3 runs. It just seems as if it's taken us a long time to get from here to the bottom of the 5th inning.
Two pitch to Matt Carpenter. Outside, and Carpenter has lined out to second, also doubled and scored back in the 3rd. Pitch count at 77 for Feldman. strikeout number 4. So what's on tap is brought to you by Budweiser. The Rangers in town for Game 1 tomorrow night of the weekend series. Old buddy Lance Berkman. Career against St. Louis. He tore up the Cardinals as a member of the Astros. 39 home runs against St. Louis. So Berkman back in town. And we'll see him tomorrow night. Looking forward to hearing the ovation that Lance Berkman will get, and it will be huge. I'm assuming when he's introduced, it'll probably be that way all weekend long.
Texas back on track a little bit over the last, I guess last week they'd had 6 losses in a row and really were going in the wrong direction. A lot of kind of rough moments for Texas, but they're just a couple of games out in their division, and still have to say are favorites to win it.
Two 2-0 the count on Beltran, who struck out, also walked. Inside, and it's 3-0.
I said Beltran doesn't hit very often with 2 outs and nobody on. I said that his last at bat. That's what he's doing here. 3-0. I'd let him swing.
And he was 3-1.
Say Carlos Beltran's at the stage of his career and has the respect of his manager and his coaches that I'm not even sure he looked for any kind of sign or acknowledgement that he had the green light. You just kind of have it unless we tell you not to.
Beltran hits it down the right field line and nearly hit it off the Beltran pole. Mike Matheny, he was into it.
Had a nice sound to it. What's the manager think? Got a good view? Almost.
Available exclusively at a servicing Steel dealer. Visit steeldealers.com. And the Cardinals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, call the Quit line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. The banks of the mighty Mississippi. Warm night. It's gotten very muggy tonight. And St. Louis with a lead of 2-1 as we head to the 6th. Were you a fan of the Jeffersons?
Oh, you bet I was.
Playing the theme song to the Jeffersons right now.
Everybody likes it.
Didn't want you to dance. I just wanted you to enjoy the music.
How can you not?
And a strike to Nate Shearholtz. Quickly 0-2. Sherman Hemsley. Here's a ground ball. Adams ranging to his right. Lynn is at the bag. From the Jeffersons to Willie Robertson. There he is. There's Willie, Duck Dynasty star. Yeah, my mom never misses a game. Really enjoys UNL.
She likes you too. She just doesn't want to tell you too.
Yeah. She likes you too. She loves me.
Oh, that's okay. I get the distinction.
She really enjoyed that solo game I did. Anyway, Willie Robertson. It's a slow-moving game, Rick. I can, you know.
I want to get that confirmed.
So Willie Robertson, she says, Dan, as Soriano digs in and looks at ball one, she said, I've been hearing you talk about Willie Robertson. I said, yes. She said, well, now I've been, putting on the DVR the Duck Dynasty program, and now she has become a huge fan of Willie Robertson. Now, full disclosure, Rick, I was born and raised in South City. Okay, so people in South City, we love our baseball. We're down to earth, good people.
You bet.
Okay, so my mom, who's as sweet as they come, she is now a Willie Robertson fan.
I love it. And she's not alone.
Very popular show on A&E. So Willie will be here on that Sunday. This is what you need to know about Alfonso. Trails Andre Dawson by 3 home runs. Cubs all-time list. First career hit against Norm Charlton. But the top part of that graphic pretty impressive.
Another one of those deliveries for Lance Lynn where he does the little spin that you noticed earlier, where he's not happy with the location and the delivery, maybe overthrowing it a bit. Missed with the 2-2, and now he's faced with having to come over the dish for Soriano.
That's for you, Willie Robertson.
Is he watching?
I hope
bet
so.
He is. Up and in on Soriano. Got him to chase. Couple of strikeouts on high fastballs for Lance Lynn here tonight. And that is strikeout number 6.
I just figured I'd try a different call.
It's a new one. Oh, like a duck call? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not going down that. Yeah, that's what he started the thing, I think, with duck calls. And now it's a show they follow him around, and it's quite the family affair. Here's Rizzo. Shallow center, and going out, Carpenter, and he makes the play. A strikeout of Soriano, high and tight. That's number 6. And coming up, Matt Holliday. RBI single tonight. Holliday coming up when we come back. SaintLouisForce.com. And you can log on to hear why Yachty's teammates say he's a joke. By the way, also there is a article from Stan McNeil, very good baseball writer for a number of years, and he's talking about some of the trade possibilities out there for the Cardinals, in particular Cliff Lee, which is always kind of fun to talk about at these times of the summer.
Had a nice visit with Stan yesterday. Very good baseball man and really kind of thoughtful writer, and you really credit those who've written about the game of baseball over the years. And we, of course, have the chance to talk about it and televise it and bring you the game.
Holiday out to center. Trek, wall, gone! Muscles it out there. The pure raw strength of Holiday.
Say about that particular blast.
2-hit night for Matt Holliday, 2 RBIs.
Didn't take very long for that ball to get out of the ballpark. That one 101.7 miles an hour. All smiles is Matt Holliday. Very good low ball hitter. About thigh high. Very unique finish to the swing. I can't really picture anybody else that has that same kind of finish and power and extension that Holiday has.
He's now driven in 40. Molina with 2 walks and a run scored. That was back in the second. Ground out by Freese. That got the scoring started for St. Louis. Yachty, high fly ball down the left field line, and home run distance, but foul.
He hung a curveball to Molina earlier tonight, so we thought he'd do it one more time. Just a hanger. This pitch just sits there for Molina. He's just hoping that ball hooks foul. And thankful that it did.
Out of play. Just missed. And Yachty pulls that one just foul. The 2-2 pitch. Pitch number 96. Molina with a high fly ball out to deep left center field. Soriano back. He can't get it. And Yachty, who is leading the league in doubles, trots into second base. And he's on base for the 3rd time tonight.
We talked last night on how his start is really historic. Over the last 60 years, there's only a handful of Cardinal hitters that have had a better average through this part of the month of June, and Yachty just keeps getting better. There's the front leg picked up, dropped down again, the way Matt Holliday does. Molina drives this one over the head of Soriano, deepest part of the ballpark here in the gaps. Yachty on base all 3 times. Ho hum.
So Yachty up to 24. Just ahead of Parra of Arizona, Jay Bruce at 22, then Hunter Pence of the Giants at 21. So the big shift is on here for Adams, who has doubled and grounded into a double play. Activity. Right-hander getting loose in the pen for Chicago. They have one lefty, James Russell. We haven't seen him in this series.
It's Hector Rondon, one of their 7 right-handers.
Two-0 pitch, off-speed pitch, lifted into deep center. That's at the track. It's at the wall and caught. What a catch by Sweeney. Oh, what a play.
Feldman relieved. Sweeney wants to look at that one on the scoreboard. I don't blame him. It was outstanding. If you love the Cardinals, you don't like this, but if you love baseball, you appreciate the effort of Ryan Sweeney. Outstanding view, shows that he takes a home run away from Matt Adams, and he had to go ways to get there as well.
So here is David Freese with 1 out and a runner at second base. Molina probably should be at third base, and in that case, you know, if he doesn't get to the ball, it stays in the ballpark. He gets away from the center fielder. He is at least at third if you tag up here at third base, and if it's a home run, you're in the dugout.
I agree.
Freese with an RBI tonight, twice has grounded out to short, and the 1-0 pitch.
So much at stake in outfield play from a pitcher's point of view. Soriano not able to run down Yachty's ball in left center, and yet his center fielder goes up, climbs the wall to take a 2-run home run away from Matt Adams. And when an infielder drops the ball, it's typically a base. When an outfielder drops the ball, it's typically a run, or at least 2, maybe 3 bases.
All the guys that you think with runners in scoring position, normally around that 300, 350 mark, maybe, it's Freese slowly edging closer to that after the very rough start that he had. Two-two pitch to Freese. in the dirt. Staying put, Yachty at second base. And that is taken low. Walk to freeze. Will that be it for Feldman? We turn to the results of our AT&T Twitter poll. Lance Berkman, the player you look forward to seeing the most. I thought for sure that would be Pujols. Certainly that will have so much interest in that series with Albert, Mike Trout. We'll see Berkman here tomorrow night. So that'll be it for Feldman. John Jay due up when we come back. This week it'll feature Edward Mejica, so get here early. We'll sign autographs beginning at 6. First 200 people in the Budweiser Bash line will get a guaranteed autograph. For information and tickets, visit Cardinals.com/promotions. Hector Rondon in our Chevy call to the pen. 21st appearance, the righty. And he'll face John Jay with 2 runners on for St. Louis. The Cardinals have out hit the Cubs 6-3, and they lead it 3-1.
A little disappointed. I like seeing Carlos Marmol pitch. I just think he's fun to watch pitch, and we just haven't seen enough of him. And he is, of course, not the closer anymore for Chicago. That job belongs to Kevin Gregg, who had his 10th save of the season this year, and he's been perfect, 10 for 10.
So 2 on, and Jay puts it in play. Castro diving, and safe at second is Freeze. Base hit for Jay. The diving stop by Castro saves a run. Base is loaded. Castro slow to get up. He may be hurt a little bit here.
Castro does what he wasn't able to do early in this game, and he does it very well here. He just makes sure this ball doesn't get in the outfield, and almost gets more, almost gets the runner at second base. David Freese on the slide, very close play there.
A 2-hit night for John Jay, and now the bases are loaded. Chance here for Pete Kozma to break this game open. 3-1 St. Louis with 1 out. And Kozma pops it up. Infield fly. Valbuena makes the catch. Big out there. The Cardinals are saying, well, we may have a great shot. Put this game out of reach. Let's do it now. Interesting move by Mike Matheny to go with Craig here, and that'll be all for Lance Lynn. He certainly was effective tonight, Rick.
Yeah, he had a struggling start. We mentioned a start ago where he really kind of got worn down quickly, and it is a hot night here. He's pitched 92 pitches here tonight, 62 of them for strikes, and you know the Cardinals bullpen is going so well of late. You feel a little bit comfortable just kind of throwing a whole bunch of guys in there, and so why not get them some work, and why not try to pick up some more runs here when you got a chance.
So inside to Craig. 6 innings, 6 Ks, the 1 run allowed by Lance Lynn. You get Craig in, who ranks among the league leaders in RBIs. He's 4th. Just 2 for 11 in this series. Bases loaded. 2 outs. The 1-0. The 2-0. 3-0.
I wouldn't have even minded Daniel Descalzo in this spot. Left-handed hitter off the bench. Cub fan can barely watch.
Kind of sums it up, doesn't it, right there? His reaction. Twice the Cardinals have turned Freese and Beltran loose on 3-0. 2 outs, bases loaded. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Doesn't he want to watch, does he?
Good cut, fouled straight back. 3-2. Seth Maness continues to throw in the Cardinal pen.
Legs tapping, a little nervous. Everybody else around him not too nervous.
Lance Lynn, the 6 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, walked 2, 6 Ks, 92 pitches tonight. Craig this season at 472 in this spot. 571 with the bases loaded this year. In his career, 393. Everything points to Craig doing some damage. Runners go, the 3-2. Base hit in the right. 1 run in. Here comes another. Mr. Craig does it again. 5-1 St. Louis. I like the move even better now. Don't know about you.
Well, Mike Matheny pushes the right button. And it always looks good when the player executes. And how does our friend react? A little differently than his girlfriend or his wife. It's to his left. We have to assume.
Two outs, runners at the corners. Cardinals have picked up 3 runs and a 5-1 lead. Craig now up to 55 RBIs. 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
See Seth Maness in the 7th.
Unbelievable knack of being able to come through in the clutch. Might not be anybody better in the last 2-3 seasons, not just in St. Louis, but in all of baseball, than Alan Craig.
Been so productive, predictable.
Here's a 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Craig stays put at first and Jay at third. With the bases loaded this year, Craig 5 for 8, 13 RBIs. The 2-2. Carpenter base hit out to left. 6-1 Cardinals. And again, another theme of this season for St. Louis, Rick, has been the fact that the Cardinals have scored a lot with 2 outs. That ball almost scooted by Soriano and left.
Starts with Matt Carpenter doing what the Cardinals have done. Gets a high fastball, serves it to left, and there's Soriano flat-footed. That is not proper fielding position, and all John Jay needs to do is jog home. Cardinals exploding here in the 6th.
You can see that Chris Bosio is all over the catcher, not his pitcher. And so, Rick, I'll ask you, is that pitch selection and what he's putting down and questioning maybe what they've gone over previously with these hitters and maybe not the execution of what they're wanting?
It can also be it also can be translation that's going on. And you know, often when a pitching coach comes out there, he wants the catcher to hear what he's saying anyway. But I think in the case of Rondon here, he was just wanting to make sure he understood him perfectly.
So 2 for 3 in this spot for the Cardinals, and now it's Beltran. 6-1 St. Louis, and Carlos takes a ball low.
Rondon is from Venezuela, 25 years of age.
I wonder if the catcher sometimes in the translation, knowing that his pitcher maybe thin-skinned, and gets the message from Chris Bosio and then changes it up to his pitcher.
He might kind of soften the translation. Castillo's from the Dominican Republic, and really pockets of both countries are going to be more fluent than other pockets in terms of their ability to speak English. And I think in the case here, you've got a pitcher that's kind of head is spinning anyway. So in some ways, speaking to the catcher and getting him to kind of give the calming words or the helpful words to the pitcher in Spanish, probably a good idea. I mean, it's one thing to get yelled at in your own language, but when you get yelled at in your second language, kind of tough.
2-2. not only is his club losing, surrounded by the fans that support the Birds on the bat. I would assume that those fans are starting to get the phone calls, the text messages, and that's being relayed to that gentleman. The 3-2.
News travels fast.
Popped up into foul territory. Well, it could be, and it looks like another season of wait until next year. To 6-0, it is a BJC difference maker. The Cardinals and Mike Matheny with a move after 92 pitches to lift Lynn and bring Craig up with the bases loaded. A move that paid off with a base hit into right field that scored 2. Then Carpenter a base hit and RBI, and it's added up to a 5-run lead as we turn to the whiff package presented by Head & Shoulders.
And Lance Lynn came up with 6 strikeouts here tonight in his 6 innings of work. A couple of them were up in the zone, and a little cutter in on the hands of Rizzo. Gets Castro to chase on another cutter, and very good performance for Lance. Just 3 hits, a couple of walks. And we mentioned he's pitched well against the Cubs, 4-1, trying to win game number 10 if Seth Maness, our Chevy call to the bullpen, and others can keep it where it is.
John Jay back, makes the catch. And it's our Chevy call to the pen. Seth Maness.
Look at the numbers a little longer for Seth Maness, and they're good. The ERA in the mid-3s. Just does not walk a lot of batters. That really was what he did throughout his minor league career. First batter efficiency, 76% of the first batter is retired. And you can make that a little better with Ryan Sweeney flying out the center.
This is like Carl Lewis in his prime when you see Seth Maness come into this game compared to,
oh my goodness,
what we've seen the last 2 nights with the starters. Minus Westbrook. There's a base hit into center field. The pace at which the games have gone, very, very slow.
Castillo with his 3rd hit, and you and I were at least questioning whether or not the pace on the Cubs side had to do with the pitchers, or was it the catcher, or a combination of the two. And I guess they could both influence it to change, but certainly the pace of which the Cubs get things done defensively is just a bit slower.
Well, one thing we've seen out of Seth Maness, ground balls, and with that, double plays. Tied for 5th. Relief wins with 4. Induced 8 double plays, which is tied for 1st in the league. Could it be number 9? Out at second and safe at first. Barney can run, so he gets down the line and safe at first.
Not much of a chance at turning 2 here unless Barney blows a tire on the way to first base. Not hit hard enough.
So Mike Matheny will go to his bullpen. Randy Choate, who was on the pregame show, will come on in. The lefty coming on when we come back. Authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Randy Choate, Chevy called to the pen. Lefty is in for St. Louis. He was part of the pregame show and had a little fun with Jim Hayes tonight.
Life of a specialist, 13+ innings in 25 appearances, so he's only going to face a batter or 2 in most of his games. Inherited runners has been a good plus for Randy Choate. His first batter efficiency at 64%. In his assignment, the pinch hitter Julio Bourbon. Only 4 players on the bench for Dale Swain.
Yeah. And yet you look at the quality starts we have talked about, so at least the starters are giving them a chance, and with a quality start, not to say that you're going 8 innings, but you're getting fairly deep into a game to where I'm not sure you need that extra reliever and have a chance to maybe strengthen your bench.
But you have to keep your lefty in to face the lefty specialist because you can't afford to use somebody else yet.
Sure.
And that's why he's a bit hamstrung. Dale Swain, that is, and maybe something they may want to reconsider. And the other problem that Swain has is one of his best guys off the bench, actually his best pinch hitter this year, is Deano Navarro, who's hit a couple of home runs as a pinch hitter, but he's their backup catcher, and that becomes problematic when you use your backup catcher as a pinch hitter early in the game. Wasted.
And it's a ground ball. Adams has to get back to the bag. He does. Time to stretch. St. Louis on top 6-1. Praise the heroics of 2011 rematch tomorrow night. Holland and Lions. Never get sick of seeing that, do you? '11 and the rematch tomorrow night on Fox Sports Midwest, as will come your way at 6:30. Cards and Rangers, Fox Sports Midwest tomorrow night.
Reminded of the great moments we've had here at Busch Stadium since it was opened in 2006. A World Series champion right away, and then another one in 2011, and this club in 2013. A very good early showing. Henry Rodriguez, very live fastball. Our Chevy call to the bullpen. 16 walks out of the bullpen, way too many.
He's had one appearance in this series, and we've seen that this guy can bring it. Throws hard.
You bet.
Here's a 1-1 pitch, and Holiday again goes down to get it and lines out to center. Nice play. Second time we've seen Sweeney take a hit away. Holiday really going down to get the ball, and you mentioned it, Rick, from a right-hander, right side of the plate, going down to get it. Low ball hitter.
Holiday has our Nissan drive of the game. This one he went down to get and hit it a long way. Here's a ball that Ryan Sweeney couldn't catch. Holiday had our Nissan drive of the game and then got robbed of a hit right there by Sweeney, who's proving that, I guess he's proved it to us about 3 times in this series, that he is a very, very good outfielder. Looks smooth in center field. Robbed Matt Adams of a home run earlier.
Yachty on base 3 times, pair of walks and a double. 99 from Rodriguez. .100. It's triple digits. The 2-1 pitch, and Yachty serves it into right. Out number 2.
So Matt Adams hit the ball as far as he could, and Henry Rodriguez threw the ball as hard as he could. I wonder how far that would go. Kind of like to see that, just for fun. Power versus power.
And again, he hits 100, so 3rd time he's done that in this inning.
Hit speeds today for Matt Adams. Get it around 100 means you've centered it pretty well, real well.
Good inning from the Cubs right-hander. Mike Matheny has made the right moves tonight. We head to the 8th when we come back. Ball. Let's go to our studio with a Bommarito Sports Update. Pat Paris is standing by. Well, thank you very much. And, you know, David Bell was talking the other day about the challenge that Chicago has and had a chance, along with Dave McKay, to go to some other teams that may have a better chance to win this year. And he said, I really wasn't looking for that. I wanted the challenge of teaching the game and trying to get guys to play the right way. And certainly has a challenge in front of him.
Buena's walked a couple of times tonight. Randy Choate came in to retire the pinch hitter Bourbon. Back out for the 8th. A lot of lefties in this lineup for Dale Swain. Cubs need base runners. Cardinals need their relievers to just throw strikes and do what they've been doing. Amazing to think that Choate is under a halfway through the season, but it's getting close because it's game number 73 for the Cardinals, and he has 13 2/3 innings. Done a nice job for the Cardinals out of the pen, but his day really hinges on what he does to the 1 or 2 guys that he faces, sometimes 3.
On the pregame, he was talking about his superstitions. I don't know if you caught that, Rick.
I did not. Missed it.
And he says, well, I'm a pretty superstitious guy, as he gets a strikeout, down to the time he eats prior to a game, what he eats. He said at home it's a cheeseburger or something like that at 6:40, and then he has ice cream on the road at a specific time.
For 6 straight months?
Again, we're going to have to get clarification on that, because certain issues that may come along with that. However, if that's what the man wants, let the man do what he needs to do to get ready to play.
A little harder for a reliever to have superstition because you're not really sure when you're going to pitch. You say before a game, well, it could be any day for him. The starter typically likes to develop a little bit more in terms of the routine. And I've always found that routine and superstition are sometimes used interchangeably, and really they're a little different. Every athlete has a routine, and a coach will teach you to have one.
Chopper up the middle. Cosma, nice play to his left. Takes a hit away from Starlin. Castro's had a very tough series. Well done.
Castro thought he might have his first hit of the night, but Castro Cosma ranging to his left, and he's really working on getting that range to his left. I think he had a little bit more kind of a gliding motion on that, not the short choppy steps up the middle. So nice play for Pete Cosma. Defense has been good in this game. Cardinals made a nice play on the bunt defense. Matt Adams made a pretty nice play with Lance Lynn early on. And their center fielder Sweeney has been really good.
Scott Hairston. The Cardinals don't have the greatest of range on their infield. However, we were talking before the game about the positioning the Cardinals have been in on some of these plays throughout the year, where it looks like a sure base hit, but the Cardinals, whether it's Cosma or Carpenter, are positioned perfectly. In this case, you've got Carpenter near the bag at second, not where you traditionally be at second base defensively, and Cosma more towards the hole. But that goes into a lot of studying of the video, and as you wisely pointed out to me, the pitchers hitting spots.
It's a team effort. It's not only the guy being positioned right, but if Randy Choate doesn't throw the ball where Pete Cosma is expecting it to go, then he may anticipate incorrectly on where that ball may be hit. And so it really is kind of everybody working together. The plan's got to be right, the positioning right, then the pitch has to be right. And you can make up for a range deficiency with proper positioning, as you mentioned, and also getting that good jump. But if you're leaning to your right because the pitcher is supposed to throw a fastball in and he hits the outside corner, and all of a sudden you're leaning right and the ball's hit up the middle, you're not going to get it.
And a strikeout for Choate. Good work out of the pen. Cardinals lead it 6-1 over the Chicago Cubs. Go, and right now we're seeing parity in baseball, Rick, any way you want to look at it. Multiple World Series winners over the years, but different look this year than we saw last year.
And some of those teams in 2012 that were the division leaders still having decent years, like Texas and Washington. They still have a chance, but 2013, a bit of a changing of the guard in terms of this particular date. Boston leading the East, Detroit, not surprisingly, leading the Central, and Oakland in the West, Atlanta, St. Louis, and Arizona in the National League. The changing of the guard there as well. But Cincinnati still on the heels of the Cardinals, and expect that to be the case all season long.
Freese will lead it off against Carlos Marmol, the former closer multiple times with the Chicago Cubs. Chevy called to the pen, high ERA. And Marmol had a 3-run lead in the game Sunday against New York and blew that. Kevin Gregg was unavailable, and Cubs are just trying to figure out a way to use Carlos Marmol, who still throws hard, but yet all kinds of issues again.
I told you I love to watch him pitch. I'm getting what I want. Marmol is always interesting when he pitches, and some days good, some days bad, but when his breaking pitch is on, it's almost impossible to hit, but command always an issue for Marmol.
Freese breaks his bat, and that's out number 1 here at the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are winning. Grab some buds. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Redbird Club. And I believe that's down. You have a green seat at lower level. You get the carving station. As John Jay takes a strike.
So Randy Choate was on the pregame show and pitched an inning in the 3rd. He's seriously going to need a nap.
Many times I think it's the curse of the pregame show, like the Sports Illustrated cover. jinx, but not with Jim Hayes. No, no, sir.
Bit of a cutter, not the classic breaking pitch from Marmol. He's got kind of a odd delivery and always has, and see how it would be difficult for a right-handed batter, especially to pick up the ball from Marmol.
2 outs. The check swing by Kozma did not go for ball 1.
In 2010, Marmol had 138 strikeouts out of the Cubs bullpen, and that came in 77 innings.
Clearly has had his issues in Chicago, but you wonder if a change of scenery
might be good for him.
Be best for him, and then how many teams would want to take a chance. Good pitch there.
Well, it'd have to be the right team, and maybe when you get close to the trading deadline, there will be a team that thinks that they're just one pitcher away from maybe being able to contend and make a run at it.
Off the glove of Barney, and no play. Errol's streak right now, 59 games. Ty Wigginton will be the hitter. We'll see if Kozma gets a base hit. I would assume he would.
Yes. Scorer says base hit Kozma. I think that's the right call. A diving attempt by Barney. And I like the fact that he continued to play. He just kept after it. No real quit defensively in Darwin Barney.
So here is Wigginton. First pitch. Foul back. Now, if you're looking to give a start to a guy like Ty Wigginton, you and I were looking at the numbers that he had against tonight's starter. Pretty good.
7 for 14 in his career. In fact, the only one that really had a lot of numbers against Feldman was Ty Wigginton. Thought that might result in a start for him. And the problem with that is you're trying to get starts for Matt Adams, too. And you're deciding to give Alan Craig the day off. How do you not go to Matt Adams first?
2 outs, runner at first as a play behind Kozma. Wigginton lines out to Marmol. Sends us to the 9th, and it's the Cardinals on top 6-1 here at Busch Stadium.
The post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Pat Paris and Al Roboski will be at Lumiere Place. Lance Lynn enjoys the home cooking. He'll break down his night. We'll get you ready for a visit from Lance Berkman and the Rangers. Plus, we'll have Mike Matheny's post-game thoughts as well. The hard-throwing Kevin Segrist will come on for the Cards. We send it back to the booth. And Dan and Rick, guys.
Thanks, Cat. Good work. We are in the top of the 9th inning, and our Chevy call to the bullpen is the left-hander Kevin Segrist, who has jumped onto the scene in big fashion. 10 strikeouts in 6 2/3 innings for Segrist, who's yet to been scored upon. And Segrist shown that good live fastball, and he has the 9th. He'll face 4, 5, and 6 for the Cubs. And up first is Alfonso Soriano, who's 0 for 3.
I don't hear you get overly excited about certain guys, but you seem to be pretty excited about Segrist and what you see.
Yeah, I like the fact that his fastball is so alive. It just jumps out of his hands. He's got good movement. And, you know, a lot of times a guy that's got kind of that explosive fastball doesn't really have as good a command of it necessarily. It's kind of all over the place, but he seems to be pretty locked in. And, you know, when you've got a left-hander with a plus fastball, and when he's young, why not like it?
97.
So he shows that. Now he can show something different.
Hung it. May get away with it, and that's a sliding catch by Holiday. He's had a big night. Replaces his divot. Nicely done, Matt Holiday.
Another nice defensive play. Hanging breaking ball. Soriano drills it. Sinking liner. There's the dive. And there's the divot. I think he has one of those tools in his back pocket.
I know he's got a lot of seeds. He goes through a couple of bags of seeds. Now, there's nobody like Clint Hurdle when it comes to chomping on a stick of gum or a pack of gum throughout a game, but Holiday will go through the seeds.
Works it hard, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Solid ball game tonight for the Cardinals. 2 outs away from winning 3 of 4 in this series.
And the hope is to go to 21 games over 500 for the first time this year.
And Lance Lynn could join Wainwright as a 10-game winner. Be pretty tough to have 12, 13 wins before the break and not head to the All-Star game.
Agreed.
Base hit into right field. Cody Ransom will dig in, pinch hitter. We turn to the player of the game, and it is Matt Holiday. 2 for 4 tonight with a home run and a pair of RBIs. Budweiser player of the game, Matt Holiday. Ryan Sweeney being pinch hit for by Ransom. Sweeney, heck of a game defensively. Segrist, by the way, is not allowed a base hit to a right-hander. They're 0 for 10 against him. He would love the double play to end this game. Does Segrist have the allotment of pitches, Rick, to be a starter if need be in the future?
There are those that believe he does. Cal Eldred kind of at the front of that line. Talked to Cal about him quite a bit, and he's seen him certainly more than we have. He saw him a lot when he was roving throughout the last couple of years and doing reports on minor league pitchers. That really was one of the things he was doing for Mike Matheny and John Mozeliak. Continues to provide a lot of help and coaching to the players who are being developed, and he believes that Segrist has a good changeup that he's not using and has all the pitches to be a starter. And really the question would be, where is he needed most, and where do you see the biggest upside for him at the big league level? So I would say the jury's still out.
Sometimes you see a player come up and they are in awe of their situation. That has not been the case at all for Kevin Siegrist. There's a strike, 94. Popped up. You can hear Carpenter up here calling for it. Makes the play, 2 away. 41st round of the 2008 draft, Kevin Siegrist.
I think Al has done a great job over the years kind of communicating to Cardinal fans just how important it is to be the guy on the mound that gets that last out of a game. And even if it's a 6-1 lead, there's something about that feel of closing out a game that I think is part of a young pitcher's development. Here in the crowd noise, the support. Defensive indifference.
One ball, one strike. Signed with the Cardinals for junior college season. Big lefty, as you see out there. Mark Dejean had him for a while in the minor leagues. Really thought there was an upside with this guy. Clearly there is. Popped up. Right field. Beltran, and the Cardinals take 3 of 4 from the Chicago Cubs.
Outstanding team effort for the Cardinals. Matheny makes some good moves. Holiday supplies some power.